And we welcome you back inside the Family Arena in St. Charles, Missouri. Game number 4 of the day, game number 12 of the weekend. And we got another great one on the men's side as Quincy leads 39-37 over Wisconsin-Parkside. I'm Jim Powers, and it's not very often I get a chance to, actually do a sit-down conversation with my good friend from Wisconsin-Parkside, Jacob Yorg. And Jacob, thanks so much for joining us. And we've seen on the men's side, and you were here yesterday for a little bit, great games that we've seen on the men's side throughout the quarters and the semis today.
Oh, it's been great. I mean, as we always talk about, we always joke about the GLVC men's, it's such a rough division. And the games yesterday were just amazing. Everything was down to the wire, and then there were some interesting finishes that happened. And today, even the last game with Bellarmine and Lewis was another great battle, and how much Bellarmine came back. And this game is, even at 39-37, we all know this is going to happen another battle, just like it was at Quincy earlier this year when it was overtime and a last-second shot by Andy to win the game for Parkside. I think this is going to be another battle.
But I don't think we're going to see 108-107 tonight since we're only at 39-37.
If we do, that's going to be a lot of scoring in 20 minutes. That's all. 140 points in 20 minutes will be a really fun thing to watch.
That means, too, we're in overtimes, and I know none of us like overtime.
Nobody wants overtime.
Talk a little bit about the first half of this game, what you've seen from the coaching side of things. Once again, the Rangers come out a little bit slow out of the gate like they did last night. Start to get into the flow, but Quincy is answering every shot that the Rangers take at them with a shot of their own. Yeah,
I mean, Quincy's shooting amazing. I mean, they have not missed many shots, especially anything inside 8 feet. They've been shooting a lot, and a lot of second-chance points has also come in. I mean, there's some big threes after offensive boards. I mean, the biggest stat I think it was beginning of the games was they scored like 7 points off turnovers, and Parkside only had 4 turnovers. They were converting a lot in the very beginning of the game, but Parkside will always chip away. No matter what the score is going to be, people like Andy and Kendall will always help and take over. They're trying to do a good job of making sure Andy can't get in the game in his flow, but Goran and Kyle are working in the post, and they really don't have a lot of answers right now for them in the post.
Last year, your team played here on the women's side of things. How difficult is it to shoot here inside the Family Arena?
I mean, it is different. I mean, if you're not used to freestanding baskets, it's also hard because it's a visual thing from the shot. The floor is a little different because it's portable. I mean, the ball doesn't bounce as much as we're used to, but I mean, it's just a different feel. I mean, I know last year when we played here, it was we shot well in some parts, but other times you start going flat. And it becomes a mental thing, I think. Once you start not shooting as well, it gets in your head, and then you have to, try to change that. But, I think in the second half it's going to be more of the same between these two teams, and they're shooting well.
Tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock, the women's championship, and number 1 and number 2 go by the wayside today. And we're going to see Bellarmine, the number 3 seed, against Quincy, the number 4 seed. And what I've been saying is a Quincy team that likes to muck it up. They like to play physical. To where a Bellarmine team, they're more finesse. They're more just put your foot on the pedal and get it and go.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be similar. It's two completely different styles. I mean, Quincy is all about the half court. I mean, they'll press sometimes with very much a delay, but they just want to pound it in, go inside-out game. Bellarmine's complete opposite. They want to press all day long. A lot of steals, a lot of turnovers. They want to get you moving, and they want to speed you up. So what's really going to be is whose game is going to be able to kept in their style. Is Quincy going to slow Bellarmine down, or is Bellarmine going to speed Quincy up? And I think that's going to be the big key, is who can take over on the pace will dictate who wins that game.
What 2 players are going to be the big difference makers tomorrow? 1 player for Quincy.
I think it's going to be a combination. I think Cunningham, as being the senior point guard, is going to have to really step up and play what she does well. I mean, she's hit some big shots in her career. But I think at the same time, it's going to be Kayla Gurbis. If she's going to play the 4, and how are they going to get Sarah Galvin's going to get her points. And if you can't defend Sarah, Bellarmine's going to score. And for Bellarmine, it would have to be Sarah. I mean, I think Sarah Galvin has been playing extremely well. She takes it on the back, especially being gone last year. And then, as I think the Cunningham-Martinez matchup is going to be interesting in general, just because they're similar to an extent on what they want to do. But one's a three-point shooting threat, and one's more of a penetration threat. So, I mean, I think the big thing is going to be who's going to play better defense.
No doubt about it. Well, Jacob, we appreciate the time. It's always great to see
Jim,
you
it's
back
always
home.
A pleasure.
It's always great to see you back home. I get to see you in person instead of talking to you on the phone.
Hey, it's always good to be back in the Lou. I mean, being a St. Louis boy is always great. Just, it would have been, for us, it would have been more fun, though, if we're playing in the game tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's why we're talking. But, hey, talking to you, Jim, is okay.
Oh, stop it. Come on. Now, as John Edwards, our Our play-by-play guy is laughing at us right now.
Hey, he only wishes he was as big time as we were.
That's absolutely right, Jacob. Thanks so much, brother.
Anytime, Jim. Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jacob Yorg joins us here at the court as we get a chance to preview the Women's Championship tomorrow. When me and John Edwards come back, we'll talk about the first half stats. John will have our coaches interview with Luke Riegel, and we'll get you ready for half number 2. It's 39-37 Quincy on top of Wisconsin-Parkside. We'll be back in a moment. You've got all the action in the 2016 GLVC Men's Tournament right here on the GLVC Sports Network, where champions are crowned.